So boys and girls, today we are going to be starting with what we call the profile. We're going to do the side of a face with the nose, the lips, and a chin. You'll give it a little bit of a forehead, and from there you can put any shape that you want going around. Let me show you just a couple other ways. I have the nose. Here I have some like kind of pointed lips. And now I'm doing something squarish and weirdish as a shape around. Here I have the nose, doing some lips, the chin, and now another weird shape going around the edge. Don't overthink it. With Picasso, you are not going to ever mess up. You can do the weirdest shape or the weirdest add-on or the weirdest bizarre hands, and it's still going to look awesome. All we're making sure is that we can see the side of the face and the front of the face. Now on the tables, I'm going to have so many examples. I know that some of you like to look at actual artwork and some of you like to look at idea sheets. Well, here I've taken actual artwork and I'm just adding, just pointing out some things. So you're going to need an eye on each side. And on the side showing the side of the face, I kind of wanted to make it look that if that was the only part I was looking at, it would look like this guy is just looking off to the left. So I've added an eye there. Now you can add a second eye or eyebrows or eyelashes. Here I saw eyelashes on another one of his pieces, and I thought, I like that. So it's almost like you're shopping around for different ideas, looking at all the different Picasso artwork and just finding things that you think that are interesting, and you add it wherever you want. You can add lips, or you don't have to add lips. I decided to add them. You are going to add a neck, a little smile for where the shirt is, and then shoulders. From there, you can add accessories. I'm adding a little necklace here that I noticed in one of his pieces of artwork. Here I'm noticing some hair. And I'm telling you, it could be like a squiggly line and it's going to look fine. Case in point, that one that was squiggly. It looks like hair, it's fine. There I see a hat in that one. That is the coolest hat I've ever seen. So I'm just deciding to add it on. I'm putting those little weirdo things that are attached to the hat there and a few more things. Now you're going to notice that I am pressing very, very hard with my black oil pastel. Some of you might even crack it. If you are like going, oh, I'm pressing so lightly, it's not going to end up looking great. Do you see how wimpy I am with my oil pastel right now? I'm like, I'm so weak. I didn't eat any breakfast. I'm going so light. Please don't draw like that. If you do, at least go over it again like you mean it. The other thing is try so hard not to smear your oil pastel. When you hold your black oil pastel, you want to hold it like a little ballerina, like you have it, that black oil pastel is the only thing that is touching, and you keep your hand and your wrist and everything away from it. Now what I'm starting to do is use colored pastels. And wherever I put them, we're going to see later that it's going to what we call resist the paint. Because it's oil, if you paint over it, that pink is just going to rise to the top. So I'm looking at some of Picasso's real artwork and deciding where I'd like to add some color. I noticed that he puts stripes on shirts a lot, so I'm using the orange pastel. Again, notice I'm pressing very hard. If you do it wimpy, it is not going to show up. The paint will cover it. Here I notice that he sometimes put things on the face with white. The white oil pastels never have a chance. When it's in the bin with all those other pastels, it always ends up looking dirty. But when you put it on your artwork, it's going to look really cool, I promise. Another thing that Picasso would do was add kind of interesting backgrounds. So here I've got a lot of stripes going on in this one. So I'm looking at one of the ones where he had like a leafy background, and I'm just adding that on there for fun. And now I'm sort of thinking that I'm gearing up for starting to think that I'm ready for some paint. At this point, you're going to show it to Miss Nicole and I. We're going to make sure that your paints your oil pastels are nice and dark, your lines are nice and dark. And here you can see that I have our hockey puck paints here, and I've done them in kind of analogous color schemes, noticing that it's going from like a magenta to a red, from a blue to a dark purple, from a light green to a teal. And you're going to notice in a minute how I'm going to use those analogous colors, colors that are near each other on the color wheel, in order to paint it in kind of an interesting way. So I take my brush and I dip it in the water, and I'm going to swirl it really good into my first color. If you just do a wimpy blah, 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 you're going to have a really wimpy blah, blah, blah color. Now, do you see that as I go over the black, I can paint right on top of that white, and the white goes whoop, it just rises to the surface. It's kind of like a ping pong ball in a pool. It's just going to whoop, come right to the top. I had that teal. I'm going to rinse out my brush without splattering. I'm going to gently just put my paintbrush on the ledge there so that I'm not tapping it to spray water on everyone around me. And now I'm dipping it into the next color, and do you see how it's almost like the teal is going now into the green? If you start to find that your color's getting wimpy, that means you got to dip it back into the water, swirl it around. You're basically making paint for yourself by adding water to the hockey puck, and it's creating your own little perfect supply of paint. Now I'm ending in that apple green, and now I have a section of my face going from teal to green to apple green, where the pink has risen to the surface, the white has risen to the surface, and now I'm choosing another section of the face. And this time I'm choosing to go from the red to the magenta, and then I should be going up on top again, but I decided to just go back around to the bottom. Now that I've completed that section, I'm going to go to another section, and happens to be the neck. I'm doing that. Now I'm finding the yellow to the orange to the kind of persimmon color, and I'm kind of blending those together here. And again, those orange lines are rising to the surface. And now I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to finish this up maybe with a few solid colors. Maybe I'm just going to have my hair be purple and some blue over here. Continuing to make sure that I'm staying in the sections. Never ever am I taking my brush and just going back and forth across the whole thing like I'm trying to paint the whole thing at once. No, no, no. You look at everything that you've drawn as a section, and you go section by section, filling it in, making it look awesome, and then looking at the next section and figuring out what you're going to do. Notice again how my green oil pastel and that black oil pastel, that I put the magenta paint over it, and it just goes whoop, just rises right to the surface. It's like, you can't cover me. I'm a powerful oil pastel. So now I got some hair over here. I decided to do yellow. The blue just pops to the surface again. I got my hat. I'm deciding, you know what? I'm just going to make my hat one color. Let's not make her look too crazy. So I've decided to choose that apple green color, and I'm filling in my hat all with that one. Now I got some eyeballs. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a necklace. Here I go, filling in my leaves around the edge. I'm almost done, and when I do finish this project, I'm going to leave it flat. If you go and lift it up, there's a really good chance all that paint's going to drip.